Tension, man.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Journey to Stardom on Flourish TV. I am Akintomwa. Our guest today, she's a pastor, a reverend. Her name is Reverend Dr. Mrs. Olufunke Adetuberu. Or am I not correct, ma'am?
Yes, you are correct. Excellent.
Yeah. Yes, today I don't want to ask you more questions because of your time. But I want you to just tell me how you started this journey. Your little insights on how you started this journey to be impacting people's life and to be giving inspirations talks every moment, because I used to follow you and I see that.
Thank you so much once again for having me. It's a privilege to be here. Somebody said the longest journey on earth started with a step. Well, it took me 41 years to be on this journey. It's been a long journey, over 4 decades. I started as a young girl that was struggling with life. Very bad girl. Parents they've given up on me. They just felt this girl cannot become anything because I was really bad. As a matter of fact, I tell people he took cigarette from my hand and he gave me my microphone. Wow, I'm sure you're watching. I was really bad. I was very bad. My mother would say the person who have caused you have died. They will go and appeal to the person if he were to be alive. My mother would say she wished she had washed away my menstrual period because I was giving her so much pain. It wasn't easy for her. So she just said, why would this girl just become a problem to me, for crying out loud? So when I met with Christ, my life changed. As a matter of fact, I wasn't told I was going to hell. I was just told that he loves me. So when you say Pastor, Reverend, I understand what you're saying. He just told me he loves me. I just heard the message, he loves me. I started crying. I walked to the altar. I couldn't pray that I was going to hell. It was love that actually drew me. The preacher said, he loves me, he loves you, he died for you. And the only prayer I could pray that day was, Lord Jesus, if truly you love me, I am sorry for hurting you. And I had this peace. That peace is not explainable. And I just told everybody around me that we went to that church together. I said, I've made up my mind. I'm going to rock this world. I'm going to show the devil pepe. I'm just going to take the world for God. I didn't know that heaven was listening to that conviction, that pain, that passion, I just told myself, I said, the world will hear this. And that was how it started. So I was going everywhere. I would go to nurseries, primary schools, I go to secondary schools just to preach the gospel. I was just going everywhere. Some of my converts have done great works for God, even in their generation, and they are still doing because of that zeal. I was so zealous for God. As a matter of fact, when people are asking me, Sister Funke, what about marriage? I said, no, I'm married to Jesus, brothers, leave me alone. I'm married to Jesus, brother, leave me alone. My husband is coming to take me away. I felt that love, that love is not explainable. It's still the same zeal, the same zest, the same enthusiasm, the same passion. I still feel that love.
I even feel it. Because on Sunday I saw you as praise in the back.
I was dancing like, it's just the love of God. It covered my skin. It's stronger than emotion. It's deeper than the color. I'm just in love with him because it was love that lifted me. It wasn't hell. The preacher didn't preach hell. He preached love because I never saw love. I never experienced love. I didn't have parents that would tell me you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're somebody. So when I heard he loves me, that was what drew me to him, and that's still the love that is making me to do everything I'm doing today. Thank you.
But during the period I read about your background, I was like, for someone to be like this, and you later married, didn't you tell your husband about it?
I said everything. I remember one day I was having my quiet time, and I got to a place in Proverbs that says, whosoever findeth you found a good thing and obtain favor from God. I jumped up from my study. I said, come on, any man that crosses my path is a privilege for him to cross my path. Because any man, I knew I was a new creature. Everything about me has changed. If anyone is in Christ, a new creature. My bloodline has changed. Everything about me has changed because I was not compromising my work with him. I left everything. I was not going to go back. I was not ready to go back to my vomitors. I knew where he brought me from. So, come on. I'm not ready to trade him for silver or gold or riches untold. I was having only one skirt. and one top to go to fellowship because all my clothes were trousers. So I had to dry my skirt to be able to go to fellowship the following day. So it wasn't any, I mean, I think these days I still wear trousers and I'm wondering, but then, you know, the kind of doctrine they gave us then, I read the Bible through back to back. That is the kind of competition we do when we're growing up, to read the Bible through. You want to read the whole Bible. I read it more than 7 times before I even got married. So I was not going to look for a husband. I was not looking for a husband. I was passionate, intentional about my work with God, that whosoever findeth me found a good thing and obtained favor from God. And of course, any man that married me at the time knew he had favor from God, and that's exactly what I'm seeing today. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. As a relationship
Expert. Yes.
What are the most common issues you've ever experienced?
A lot. Because, you know, when people are going into marriage, 14 invincible people are going into marriage. 14 people you don't see, they are going into marriage. And there are 7 stages in every marriage relationship. And people just go into marriage like a goat going to a slaughterhouse. They thought, I'm a professor, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a banker. They don't understand that they have to do premarital counseling. They only gave you a marriage certificate without going to school. Excuse me, you're a lawyer. You spend how many years and go to bank, go to law school. You're a doctor, 6 years in school, 7 years house job, 1 year NYC. Then now spend another 5 years to be a professional in the field of your choice as a medical doctor. Now you're an accountant, you know you have to do all the ICANN and everything to become a professional. Now the marriage that will help you to keep your life and make sure you enjoy the fruit of going to school, they now give you a certificate without going to school. So the major challenge I have is people don't understand marriage. They don't know that those 14 invisible people going to marriage are the things you saw your daddy to your mom, your background, everything. All the sexual activities you've had in your life is going into your marriage. Every heartbreak you had is going into your marriage. Your personality is going to your marriage. What speaks love to you is going into your marriage. And people just go in there, and that's why the statistics of divorce lately is alarming, and it breaks my heart. Now, apart from that, people have personality disorder. We have sociopath, we have psychopath, we have narcissist, we have bipolar disorder, we have people that have mental issues. And when they come to, when you give your life to Christ, it's your soul that is born again. Your spirit is not born again, your body is not born again. So how do you explain that? Having to go to the altar with a man or a woman that is mad. It's not rocket science. It's not going to work. I face a lot of challenges in that.
Yeah, as a marriage therapist, these days you see how things is. There are many youths, many young ladies. If you don't have money, they are not ready to follow you. They will be like, this one is just playing. He's not ready. And is that what we really need? Because I can see that thing as is really affecting them. You see them going through different mountains, praying for husband after they've spent so many years finding someone that has money.
Well, the issue of money, you cannot rule it out, in all honesty. There are 3 major sources of conflict in every home: money, communication, and sex. And now the issue is they should understand the dynamics of marriage and be trained on what makes marriage work, which is communication. If you are communicating properly, the issue of money will not be a problem. Sex will not be a problem, because take it to the bank, whatever you want to do, there's nothing you can do if there's no money. If there's no money, there'll be frustration, your children will not go to school. You know how many people are screaming for help today because they've seen it that they can't do anything without money. Money is the vehicle of everything, in all fairness. Now the truth is that people don't set their priorities right. You don't seek money in relationship. You buy the potential. You go into the potential. When you see a man that has the future, I tell ladies, don't marry a man because he has television. Marry him because he has a vision, because vision will buy him television. But a lot of people are looking for men that have, you know, that have big television and big screen in there. As a matter of fact, when you see a man that has a big screen in his house, that man, his life is questionable, because great men read. You check his library, you don't check the screen.
So you check the library, you don't check the screen.
I just said that today. I've never said it to you well.
And I really love that.
Thank you. You check his library, not the screen.
Yeah. You talked about communication in marriage, and it is so you.
Whether in marriage, in any relationship, if you don't communicate, you are not getting anything from the relationship.
So what strategy can we use in resolving conflict and misunderstanding?
Counseling. With a good counselor, you can make it work. In the multitude of counseling, there is safety. Counseling is a profession. Therapy is a profession. Please, I would really, really appeal to the audience, people that have been watching this. Don't say because my pastor is my counselor. No. Or my pastor is a therapist. No. If your pastor is going to be a counselor, he must learn the profession of being a counselor. If your pastor is going to be a therapist, he must learn to be a therapist. He must learn the profession. These things are professions. And you know, we don't respect professionals on this side of life. I use glasses. I have an optician. I had toothache. I've seen my dentist. If I have anything that has to do with delivery, I see my gynecologist. You don't want to just go into people's life, handling them anyhow. And when you are handling it, you must have understood the dynamics of where the person is coming from. I've handled a lot of people that will say, my past traveled with me to your future. And that's why I have a nickname. Trace it, embrace it, erase it, and start replacing it. Because there's a place you are coming from. And that background, there's no way your background will not must. If you're not intentional in dealing with your baggages, it will put your back on the ground. Like father, like mother, like father, like son is not a myth. Like mother, like daughter is not a myth. The truth is, these things happens to us. We see our parents, we assume that, oh, some will say, I'm not going to get married. If this is what my dad did to my mom, eventually you go and get married because you are wired to love and want to be loved. That's one. In relationship, it's going into your mind, everything you saw. If you are from a monogamous home, you can be dysfunctional, being raised by daddy and mommy that goes to church, wear the same uniform to church. Can be superly dysfunctional. If you are raised from a polygamous home, you are 100% no rocket science dysfunctional. Now, if you are raised by single parents, you are superly dysfunctional. Meaning that you cannot just go into marriage without having someone to help you to trace it, embrace it. Probably you were raped. I've seen ladies that were raped when they were growing up, and today some of them have become prostitutes, coming to church. Because you know, people think church girls are saints. No. When you are born again, it's your spirit that is born again. Your soul and your body is not born again. And you are born again in the spirit. So all the baggages, oh, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a banker, you're an accountant, sits in your soul. The baggages, saw your dad beat your mom, you were molested sexually, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse. You were raised by parents that are not emotionally matured. A little thing is bad, goes, they beat you up and all of that. Those things are is in your subconscious life, coupled with being a doctor, a lawyer, and a banker. It sits there. So you need to jettison, you need to drop the weight, everybody must understand the dynamics of counseling and therapy before they step into their marriage relationship, especially if they know that they are from a dysfunctional home, whether monogamy or polygamy. Thank you.
Well, apart from this marriage and other things, I see you inspire people. But people that you inspire most are women, are female. No,
I run a women college of ministry. I run a men college of ministry. I do a school of finishing touches. I do school of marriage. I'm everywhere. We just graduated the women college of ministry. We're just resuming the women college of ministry in January. We've done the men college of ministry. We've done the school of finishing touches. We've done the school of marriage. I'm all.
So you are all for the two genders.
Everything.
Thank you for doing that for us.
You're welcome.
So what advice can you give to people that are about to get married and people that are still bad? Because when you go to the society, you see people in the society, people are bad, you see people stealing, people doing different things. That they can still. What advice can
now,
you give?
Let me be honest with you. Every other ground will sink. The only solution to the world's problem is Jesus. I remember a song that says, Jesus is the answer for the world today. There's no other way. There's no. I'm not being religious. Christianity is not a religion. Being born again is not a religion. Christianity is not a religion. Being born again is not a religion. Being born again is the first encounter you have with your Creator. You are forgiven. You start a new life. Then you start dealing with your baggages. You garbage in and garbage out. It's like you have a virus on your computer. What do? You reformat it. So when you are born again, you just find yourself with a laptop that is full of virus. What you do is either you reformat, because some viruses antivirus cannot handle some. You have to reformat, and reformatting is getting yourself into therapy, being intentional about your mental, emotional, psychological life and spiritual life. And let me back it up with the scriptures. Paul said to first Christian in 1 Thessalonians 5:3, he said, I pray that your spirit, soul, and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of the Lord. David said he made me to light and he restores my soul. So I don't know where people compound the theory of I'm born again, everything is fine, I'm okay, I'm speaking in tongues. Excuse you, it does not work that way. You brought some things. Some, they are dancing to a music, they don't know explain the rhythm. Some are doing everything they are doing to reply the voice of the pain. Maybe your stepmother said you can't become anything. Or your father said go and learn bricklaying because you didn't pass JAMB once. And finally you became anything. You now prove, you are proving to the voice of your pain. Until you start living your life, whether you greet me, whether I'm tall, whether I'm slim, whether I'm fat, I feel comfortable. Your self-esteem is crushed when you are raised from a dysfunctional home. All these things would affect your marriage if you don't deal with it.
But excuse me, I'm about to end the stuff. But the issue is, so a question just came in now, and the question is, with the situation of you see celebrities, people outside, everybody looks.
The mask. I call it the mask.
Why do you call them the mask?
They cover it. You know, now you came to interview me. I have to do my powder, my makeup to make everything looks prime and proper. But the truth is, this is how I look when I want to sleep. No, that's mask. Because we pretend. That's why you don't live your life based on what you are seeing on anybody's platform or social media. You don't know that behind the mask is like a masquerade. The real person is inside. The mask. The red is masquerade is, I don't know how to put masquerade is what masquerade is mask. So they cover up whatever is they're dealing with on the inside. It is when they marry you and you marry them saying, hey, I thought I married a beauty, not a beast. I'm seeing beast in the beauty.
Thank you very much for joining me, man.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you. Once again, I am Akitomo on Flourish TV.